Dinasu Necheru Amenra. Dinasu Necheru Amenra. Neb Semitawi. Mut. Nut. Give life, Uncle Josh and Neb, shrewdness in front of the Neb for the Ka of your servant of Amen, a Sodom Ka, whose life is renewed. Uncle Josh and Neb, ETE, a Sodom Ka Reni, Dua, uh, for listening, Sin, and Sinat. Uh, pardon me, I'm a little bit choked up. I just finished moving, not finished moving even, but moving nonetheless into one of the apartments, one of my apartments today. But I wanted to touch on a few things with you this evening uh, concerning the instructions of Meri-ka-ra, just a couple gems from Meri-ka-ra so that you can mentally Rolodex these, make them a part of your daily lives, and to build off the knowledge that your ancestors left for you, which is most important. Pardon me. It's a little choked up right now. I was moving stuff around. You see my spot is still empty. This one over here. So I wanted to start first because these are always generally about, at least recently, behavior. Because you see bad behavior in cops. Sometimes you see it in your brother and sister. Sometimes you see it in other cultures around you. So these are reminders to bring your mindset back. Chair called you to, all right? And that would be to call you to Ma'at, to call you to being Ma'akeru, to being true of voice, to being Ma'at, justified and righteous in your movements and in your actions. So we always look to our ancestors for the best of actions and the best of knowledge, because that's where you get the knowledge from in the first place. And then you build off of it, right? So we start with Meri-ka-ra, the instruction given to him. And we will start just right at the beginning. I'm just going to pull randomly. Where do we want to start? Let me see. Here. Be lenient when you oppose, when you fatten herds of people or enjoy. Justify yourself in the presence of nTr. Then men will say you plan. Let's stop right there. The first part of this is saying be lenient when you oppose. So when you have disagreements or when you're talking to people trying to get your point across, be lenient, be kind-hearted. Don't be so angry, okay? And when you fatten the herds or build people up in joy, if you will, when you begin to build and establish a community, or when you begin to bring joy to the people with your words and your actions and your deeds, then you will be justified in the presence of nTr for the things that you do by Ma'at. So when you do things justifiably and with respect and with leniency in the presence of nTr, you're justified. Then men will say you plan, okay? So men will respect you when you do it in this fashion, being lenient, not so disrespectful and disgruntled, even to those who oppose your argument, especially when they're of your same progeny. This brings good kith and kin and keeps good kith and kin amongst the community, right? Because you may disagree with how someone does something. He may disagree with how you do something, but it's the way that you discuss it and your mannerisms about that thing that allow you to both grow from a disagreement. Let's move further. You shall contend against wrong. A good disposition is a man's heaven, but vilification by the ill-disposed man is dangerous. So now we really bring home the point of what we just stated. Be lenient when you oppose, right? If you vilify somebody, we've had discussions about bad speech. You've dealt with bad speech probably on a regular basis throughout your life. When you use the bad speech and when you vilify your supposed opponent, for instance, if I start to slander you and we're having a debate, but we're friends, but I'm slandering you, this can become dangerous with someone who is not well endowed mentally. This can become dangerous because of the people who listen outside of the two of you may not be mentally responsible enough to weed out the fact that you're just trying to shoot the dozens and look good in front of the people. So you have to be careful with the tongue. Remember, we talked about dangers of the tongue. It's on an old podcast. Okay. So you want to be skillful in your argument. You want to be courteous in your argument, but you definitely want to get your point across, but you don't need to vilify your opponent per se. Their own words should trap them. And then you bring them to recall those words. And this is how you get those things across. Let's go further. Be skillful in speech that you may be strong. It is the strength. It is the strength of the tongue. And words are braver than all fighting. None can circumvent the clever man on the mat. A wise man is a school for the imaginates or for the sesh. And those who are aware of his knowledge do not attack him. So let's look at that again. Be skillful in your speech that you may be strong. It's the strength of the tongue and the words because they're braver than the fist fight. If I know I can beat somebody up, and because I'm a former prize fighter, I could beat a lot of people up. If I run up on the weak ones and I press them without conveying the knowledge needed to sway them in my argument and in my way of thinking, I'm just a bully. I'm not worth the name. My tongue is rot. My tongue is rotten. And it's no good. So we don't want to get our point across in that fashion, right? That's not what we're looking to do. We want to be skillful in our speech. Okay? We want to be brave with the words we convey. No one can circumvent the clever man. So all I need is the right words. And if I have the right words, I can curb the behavior of those who are wrong or those who are in need or those who need this type of guidance. It's all about this and this. Okay? This, your tongue, and this, your mind. This is how you convey the greatness across, right? It's not about who shoots the dozens better. You're going to watch a debate soon. Some of the brothers, was it Ankh and Seti? They're about to go to war a little bit. Them and some of the other brothers from the camps. Young Pharaoh and what's the other brother? The brother Harold, Asar Imhotep. So, we're about to see a clever war with words amongst supposed friends, as far as I know, right? So we're going to get a chance to see who's the most clever and who can sway the crowd, who can sway your thinking, which is part of the reason why we're doing this today. Just because I want you to be alert of the tongue. I want you to be alert of the cleverness. I want you to be alert of the swaying of the audience to see what happens, right? Because none can circumvent the clever man on the mat. A wise man is a school for the imaginates or for the seshu, the scribes. And those who are aware of his knowledge do not attack him. You don't run up on the master. You remember them old kung fu flicks, right? You don't run up on the master You know the master put hands on you. You know the master put foot in that booty. Sometimes they don't even have to. When you deal with some of the wiser hymnetchers, the soul priest, because that the brother kept mentioning hymnetchers. Even though there's Nebs, there's Sims, there's Wobs, there's all types of different priests. But recently on the brothers, the Seshu Ma'ani Medunetcher show, they just launched a new show. Shout out to the brother Hujau, Hush Your Mouth, Damien, uh, June, all the brothers over there. Shout out to them brothers and the sister over there. It's too many of y'all to name. Look, they mentioned the hymnetcher, so the soul priest. Back in the day, you didn't just run up on the soul priest with your opinion if it wasn't well endowed and well thought out. When you had an argument, you needed to approach the soul priest in a certain manner. Why? Because he generally knows more than you do. Not just in the knowledge, they generally read better than you did. So if you didn't know how to read the ancient text, and he did, he may pull out something that you hadn't considered yet, left from you by the ancestors. So you approached him differently. You did not attack him because of his knowledge and his awareness and his aware-minded self, because he was wise. All in itself, to sit down and talk to one of these brothers is like sitting down with an old university. If we could resurrect some of the Tipawi, other than speaking through the libations and the incense that we offer them as Aku, never dying stars. They just transform. The energy still moves around. You are made up of old energy. They are you because they birthed you. You are them. Okay, so other than trying to not recapitulate, but to regenerate their old states of mind and their knowledge, we ask those who are well endowed now. We ask those now. You don't run up on the clever man. You can't circumvent him. He's wise. He's a school. He's a university. He's a walking university. This is how we should treat our elders. This is how we should treat our youth who are well learned and studying. This is how you should treat your average everyday brother and sister, because you don't know who has the guidance with them, right? This is called good kip and kin. Let's continue. Falsehood does not exist near him. The truth comes to him in full essence, after the manner of what the ancestors said. Just bringing the point home, right? So truth comes to him in full essence. The essence of truth is with the well-minded man, the schooled, the Hemet Netcher, the Neb, the Winwet Wab, the priest, not just the priest, the sesh, not just the sesh, the carpenter. He's a school, he's a university of righteousness when he's bathed in Ma'at. This should be you. You are a university to the people around you. Let's continue. Copy your forefathers, for work is carried out through knowledge. See their words endure in writing. Open and copy knowledge. Even the expert will become one who is instructed. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that just because the hymnetcher is wise, just because he is a university unto himself, it doesn't mean he can't be schooled. So once you get knowledge, once you have guidance, some guidance, we shouldn't stick our chest out. Oh, I don't know. He's not qualified. He's not. You can't do that because you are always schooling yourself. This is what makes you wise because you can learn from any situation, from any objective put in front of you. This is what makes you a hemnetcher, a soul priest, because you can speak to the soul of the people and recall them to account of ma'at on any situation that they're in. Any. You should be able to pull from life's moments some type of guidance. This is what the title is about. A neb, a sim, a him. And we could keep going. Whether it's an Akan priest, whether it's a drinker priest, whether it's a Coptic priest, things that they do for you. Some of you are Christian. You watch Joel Osteen. That's your world. That's what you do. But you watch him and TD Jakes and Creflo because what they say to you is pulling from your life experience, from their own life experience, and they can relate it to your life and relate it to nTr. Though we have different thoughts about what nTr is, you call it God, they can relate these stories to you. You know why? Because they copy their forefathers, for their work is carried out through knowledge. See their words endure in writing. Open that you may read and copy knowledge. Even the expert will come one who is instructed. You understand? You understand? This is what happens. My Muslim brothers do the same thing. I spoke on it last episode. They pull from a long chain, Ibn Taymiyyah, from the Tabligis, from the Ikhwanis, from the Salafi, from Aisha radiallahu anhu, from the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They pull from these sources. They pull from Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Right? So you as a Rametz lifestylist should be able to pull from these same experiences because you have a ton more than the other cultures around you. Right? Not only do you have a ton more, they got their culture from yours and divulge their methodology in its form. So I should be able to pull from Meri-ka-ra like I'm doing today, from Ptah, from Eni, from whoever, from Rekmi-ra. You understand? Do not be evil, for patience is good. Make your lasting monument in the love of you. Multiply the people whom the city has enfolded. Then will nTr be praised because of rewards. Men will watch over yours and give thanks for your goodness, and your health will be prayed for. Did you understand that? Don't be evil, for patience is good. Make your lasting monument in the love of you. Okay, that's your tomb. Multiply the people whom the city has enfolded, whether it's with knowledge, whether it's with money, whether it's with food, whether it's with kind words. Leave ma'at for them. When it says lasting monument in the love of you, that's not just you, that's also the people you leave behind, the youth. Leave something for them. nTr be praised because of rewards. Men will watch over you and give thanks for your goodness, and your health will be prayed for. So when you become an Aku, they will burn an incense for you, no different than we do Malcolm X, no different than we do Martin Luther King, no different than we do Kenum, the great ones who left this legacy for us. so that you can be content minded. Look below. Stop looking above all the time. Look below so you can be content with where you're at. Then you can respect the people around you and have good kith and kin with those peers amongst you who walk around on the same level. Unfortunately, most levels are judged by economics. You're not judging by what you're supposed to be, which is ma'at. Who is ma'akeru? Who is true of voice? Who is true in nature? Who stays true to nTr? Neb-er-chair sees all because Neb-er-chair is a part of you. Conclude our discussion. And by the way, we offer a new course. It's for free. Response here in my city. I'm in Denver, Colorado, all throughout the town. People coming to the course, the virtues of Ma'at. So I left it for you for free. It's something you should be well grounded in, and something I left for pretty much everybody. You can find it on kemetempire.com. That's KMT Empire, EMPIRE.com. KemetEmpire.com. If you scroll down on the first page, it's right there for you. Something I left from me to you in Ma'at. Uncle Jaseneb. Remember who you are. Being a Saw. Uncle Jaseneb. I'll see you guys soon.